All right, Madam Chairperson, motion to open.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. The meeting is now opened, and the first thing on the agenda is to confirm the quorum is present. And from what information I have for our board, we have 9 members. We need a quorum of 5, and we have 6. So we're ready to go. And so I'm calling the meeting to order. And the roll call for the voting members. And Susan, I'll start with you, please.
Present, Susan Grillo. Janine Cunningham.
John Ferrara.
Joyce Maturis.
Chuck Baird.
Chris Howe.
And then we have Cindy Currier, our director. The next thing on the, there are no others, just so people know we have an empty audience. So we'll continue on with the review and the approval of the minutes for April 22nd.
Motion to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. I wasn't.
Review of attended events by the council and Council of Aging members. And again, I'm going to go to Susan.
I haven't attended any.
No, you're busy, girl.
But it's been a little crazy the past month.
You have helped us with coordinating to have yoga over at.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I'm so busy is because I write the Plum Island newsletter, and that's what I've been working on this month, as well as another family group that I'm involved with for something else. So in the newsletter, we do have an article about the COA and the activities that have been held at Pitter Hall, the events there. And there's a little piece on it that yoga will be happening on Mondays from 3 to 4. Yeah, so just another little area of publicity for the COA and to make sure that people know about what the COA is doing, so.
I haven't had time to do anything this month, so sorry.
I've pretty much attended all of the meetings. We had 2 lunches with the police and fire, and came with I stopped in to introduce myself to Mary Ann Nay, the son of his aide who came to visit.
Oh, you've done well.
And I come in and farm the place for coffee twice a week.
You're more than welcome.
I myself, I was scheduled to go to the 2 events, breakfast with the chiefs and then coffee with the cops, but I had to cancel both due to a cold that I didn't want to spread. And I did go to one Mahjong this month, and I also attended the Friends meeting and took notes to share with our board. So, the director's report.
You guys.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I missed 2. That's a bad thing. Go ahead.
Perfectly fine.
Please.
Just this meeting last month is all.
Thanks.
And I've been doing the watercolor painting with Peggy Poppy, which has been
neat.
awesome.
People are liking that.
Yeah, it's really good, really, really good. Nice way to zen out. And while it wasn't this month, I did get my husband to participate in an event. He did the Medi Pedi, which he highly recommends.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Loved it, loved it. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
probably doing that again. Good.
That's good. Well, sorry, again. So now we will go to the director's report.
So some review of a few recent programs. We had the Mother's Day tea downstairs on the Thursday before Mother's Day. That went really well. A couple of people couldn't come, they were sick, or something came up, so we had limited the number just because if I didn't limit the number, we wouldn't have had enough chairs and tables. So, and we need to be able to maneuver around to serve people. So it went really well. I think people enjoy it. Our breakfast with the chiefs and coffee with the cop those were great chances to get to know public safety in town. It's a very informal setting. I highly recommend people come the next time we do it. It's just very low key, and it gave people a chance to ask questions. A lot of people were asking questions, especially during coffee with the cop. The breakfast with the chiefs, we were kind of separated at different tables, so there were a lot of different little conversations going on. It was nice. We did have the Salty Shell Art class with Johanna Lynch. So she was featured in Newburyport Magazine. I don't know if any of you get the paper and get that magazine, but we saw her in there and decided to call her. So she cleans oyster shells. I think were they clam shells?
Probably
Clam
clam
shells.
shells.
She gets them from the grog, she cleans them. She does like a little paint sort of film over the base of the shell, and then you decoupage the shell. So she brought all kinds of different paper napkins, very colorful, different things. And she uses a Mod Podge. She told us everything to do, then she glazes them. You can use it as like a little trinket dish, the bottom shell. The top shell, she actually put a magnet on the back, and you can use it as a really pretty magnet. It was very popular. She could take 10 students. We ended up having 12, I think, in the class, and then had a wait list of like 9 more people.
Wow.
So we are going to have her back, likely just before the holidays, to do like a holiday theme kind of thing. So that was very well attended. So upcoming programs, we have game night tomorrow evening. We have the Senior Feet Medi Pedi Clinic. She's coming back. She is the last Wednesday of each month, so Wednesday, May 29th. I believe she's almost full, or is full for May. The June clinic is on June 26th. There are still spots available for that. People will want to call us to register. We are beginning outdoor pickleball in June, and we got a certified pickleball instructor for our beginner class days.
Okay.
So those people who have never picked up a pickleball paddle or who are still new to the sport can call us to register for that. The beginners will be on Tuesdays from 9 to 11. Experienced players will be on Thursdays. Those are more of a pickup kind of round robin drop-in game. There's usually a significant amount of players on the experience day, so they'll just round robin it and, move you in as the next.
Is there only one court over
So
there?
there are 3 courts
3,
that we set
okay.
up, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a good, I won't say you won't have to wait, but there's a good amount of playing going on. So it's,
Nice.
the one thing that we will hold off on is if it's raining, those courts do get a little bit slippery. So just out of an abundance of caution for everybody's safety, we'll call it if it's a rainy day. I do think there are some diehards who are willing to play in the rain, but I just have to consider everybody's safety.
Who's the instructor?
His name is Sanjay. Kathy reached out to several different places, and I can't remember if he's over at Newburyport. He's local. I believe he lives in Rowley, but he teaches at a couple of different places. So he is very accustomed to working with this population and people who are new to the sport. But his goal is also to get people to a point where they can start playing. So like he'll have 2 courts of, drills or learning, and 1 court would be people who are starting to play each other. That's how you're really gonna learn it, is if you actually start playing. So then hopefully those people can move on to the experience day. He did suggest that people go outside, whether they can get court time here in Newbury or play at other locations. The best thing to do is to just get out there and play. So this is a great way for them to learn different techniques and how to score and what the kitchen is. If you don't play pickleball, you don't have a clue what that means. I didn't. But it's a certain area of the court, and there's all kinds of different rules that you need to learn. And who serves when and how you score and all this business. So there is a lot to learn. And in fact, a gentleman who plays with us on the experience days is also on the recreation committee. John Regan knows Sanjay. So when he found out we got him as our instructor, he was very pleased to hear that. He said, oh, he's a wonderful instructor. So that made us feel even better. Not only is he certified, but someone we know,
Perspective.
right, feels that he's really great, so. So that is starting the first Tuesday in June, so that is coming up quickly. We have our iPhone tech class. The June class is June 5th. Kevin is going to review health and emergencies, so all kinds of different tools within your iPhone, to make someone your emergency contact, things like that. In July, he's going to be talking about finding books and building your digital library. So those will both be in the next newsletter, a little blurb on both of those. Exploring creativity in watercolor with Peggy Poppy, that's the class Chris is talking about. Our 4-week session started in May. We just have to reach out to her to see if she's going to continue over the summer or if she's taking a break. We're not sure yet. We were going to try and reach her today for that. On Tuesday, June 11th, we are doing a sock hop at PETA Hall. So it is a barbecue lunch, hot dogs, hamburgers, that kind of thing, 50s music with a DJ. So that will be a fun time. The Delvina Theater Group is coming back in June. They are going to put on a new show they have called Bon Voyage Murder Mystery. That is actually paid for by a grant from the Newbury Cultural Council. So Delvina reached out to the Newbury Cultural Council to fill out a grant request, and it was awarded. So usually once a year, Delvina is covered by the Newbury Cultural Council. So it's a nice collaboration that we have with another group in town.
Is that the same group that used to, well, during COVID, would go to the front yard to some people?
No, so that is
Okay.
a children's theater group.
Okay.
That was doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is separate. So these
Okay.
are 3 adults, and sometimes it's a 3-actor show, sometimes it's a 1-woman show. I'm guessing, because this is a murder mystery, there's at least 2 of them. I could be
You would
wrong,
hope.
but I don't always know, like the Lizzie Borden one, I think all 3 of them came. The Christmas Carol one, all 3 of them came, but then we had another one, Louisa's Girls, all about Louisa May Alcott. I think it was just 2 of them, so it depends on the show, but they had been coming here for many years before I was here. So they're pretty well established, and people really enjoy them. And then afterwards, they usually have some kind of little, like when they did the Salem Witch Trials or Lizzie Borden, they have little facts and stuff that they talk about after the show. So it's pretty cool. We had done a presentation by the Gordon College Center for Balance, and the physical therapist who did that presentation is coming back to do fall risk assessments. So this is something they used to do before COVID. It's literally like 7 or 8 minutes of him doing a brief assessment, and then can give you some different exercises or thoughts or ideas about, you should really go talk to your doctor. You seem to have an issue with this, or some simple exercises might help you with that, things like that. So those will be starting in June. The fire chief was a little put off that we had coffee with the cop. So he asked if we could do coffee with a firefighter at the Byfield Fire Station. So we're starting that. We will do that in June. They were very excited to host us over there. We are putting on an estate planning presentation with the Newburyport Bank. We had collaborated with them a couple of years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, over at the Round School. So they had an elder law attorney come and talk about different documents you should have in place. So this time, she has 3 different people coming. I believe 2 are attorneys, 1 is a certified financial planner. So we're just trying to get the details from her, exactly what they're each going to speak to, but it should cover things like your will, trusts, healthcare proxies, powers of attorney, important documents that you should have in place. And then we're going to get a little bit more detail on what she means in terms of the financial planner coming to talk. If he's going to have specific information, I just want to be able to detail that in the newsletter so people will know what to expect. So that will be held on Tuesday evening, June 25th. We're going to start the presentation at 5, but we'll be serving a light dinner at 4:30, so people can come in, have a sandwich, get themselves settled, and then they'll start the presentation. And there will be some back and forth. Animal World Experience with Matt Gabriel is coming back on Wednesday, June 26th. We had him a couple of months ago. He's come several times now, so he brings usually about 6 live animals. All of these animals are animals that he's adopted or somehow rescued. and he gives a lot of detail about the animal itself, and then goes around. Most of them you can touch. There was one last time, it was like this little, it looked like a monkey, it was not a monkey, I forget what it was called. But we couldn't touch that particular animal. But in like his tarantula, he keeps in a little case, so you can't touch him. We couldn't touch the scorpion, but like the turtle and the rabbit and like all kinds of different animals. The alligator, his mouth is all taped, but he has a lot of different really interesting, cool animals. So the last time we did it during a school vacation week. This time we purposefully did it after school is out, we're hoping, June 26th. So that people can bring their grandkids or whatnot. So it's a nice interactive experience. Traveling chefs, we have on Thursday. This was bad scheduling, not necessarily on our part, but we give certain dates to HSpan for what we would like for the traveling chef. And then with all of their scheduling, with all of their different people, we get what we get. So I'm actually having a traveling chef on a Thursday and the following Monday. So that's the first time that's happened. Usually they're about a month apart, but June and July are kind of right on top of each other, which stinks, but it's still nice to get people in and have a meal together. We are starting Tai Chi in July. So we had a bunch of people reach out to us, they were interested in Tai Chi, so we reached out, we found a Tai Chi instructor, her name is Valerie LaBelle. She will be starting on Tuesday, July 9th at 10 a.m. in the field house. So when we do any of these exercise programs to allow for something like yoga, Tai Chi, even the stretch class, it's too distracting to be in our space with the phones ringing, people coming in and out.
Yeah.
The space in the front room is really tight for yoga, so they'd have to be in the main room, and you lose all of that ability to kind of concentrate and relax. So that's why we do things over there. So the Tai Chi will be over there. We are working to get a ceramics class coordinated through a group called Time to Clay. One of our volunteers, who is also on our Friends board, has gone to this class over at the Newburyport Council on Aging, and she's brought in the pieces that she's done. They're really beautiful. So we reached out, and we're going to try and schedule, they take the summer off, so we're going to try and schedule them for September, October, that kind of a thing. So the things that Tina has brought in have been a beautiful plate. They give you like a pattern to paint on the plate, and then they take the pieces back, they glaze them, and then they bring them back. She's made these glass like plant stakes, but they had flowers on them, so it wasn't just ceramic, it was this glass piece. She's done a bowl, she's done a plate. There's a million different things that you can do, but they look professional. They're really nice. So that would be a $20 per person cost. So you'd be paying the instructor directly for your piece of pottery and for them to fire it. So again, we're looking to get that started in September. So that would be in not this newsletter, but the next newsletter.
Is that like a series or just a one-time?
So it could be like a one-time class. If you want to come once, great. If you want to come every month, or how often we do it, whatever you want to do. I think Tina, one of the pieces she did was a little plate, and she ended up putting cookies on it and giving it as a gift to someone. But other stuff she's kept because she really liked it. So yes, you can do one time. It's kind of like the Bill Duke watercolor class. You could just come one time, or you can come every month. We have people that do both. The June, July newsletter will be sent to the printer, I'm hoping this afternoon. Upcoming holidays, we're closed on Memorial Day. We will be closed on Wednesday, June 19th, that is Juneteenth. And then we're closed on Thursday, July 4th for Independence Day. We do have staff vacations in July and August, so we'll just ask for everybody's patience. When there's only 2 of us in the office, it just gets that much harder. We're used to having 3 people there. But I'll be on vacation for a week, and I think Kathy's on vacation the following week, and then there's like a little gap, and then Janine is going away. So we purposefully sort of lightened the load for July, and we will for August as well. We have a lot going on in June, but then we're sort of lightened it up just from past experience. Participation does dip a little bit in the summer. People are very busy doing a million different things. So we don't do as many, like, we wanted to do the estate planning program, we wanted to do the Peter Hall, we wanted to do all those things when we were hoping to get a good crowd. I don't want to put something on when we know people aren't going to attend, so. That's why you'll see a lighter calendar for July and August. Just a reminder, the Shine Counselor is always available. Open enrollment is in the fall, but people can call anytime to speak with him if they're going to be turning 65 or they have questions. If you're already 65, you can't make changes at this time, but at least you can get your ducks in a row for when you are going to make some changes. And we're always in need of NEAT drivers to drive for the NEAT program, so if anyone's interested in that, you can reach out to me and we can connect you with the NEAT program. And that's it.
Thank you, Cindy.
Quick question. I do have a quick question. The pickleball, I had an experience down at Naval Academy reunion, and they had 2 courts that had winter covers on them, and they're temporary. They break down, get stored away.
The covers do?
Yes, and it's not a large area, and the ball's dead, that's the nature of the game, so it doesn't travel far nor high, so you don't need a tall ceiling. And they put them up during the wintertime, and they put one of those small oil electric heaters inside each one. There's no danger, there's no issue, they're very efficient. The oil heats and circulates and puts out a tremendous amount of BTU, and it could be a perfect solution for Center Street.
That's something to the rec committee.
Yeah.
They take care of that court, so that would be their call about putting something.
And you could get volunteers to assemble them. We just have to purchase one of the proponent. I could call him and find out who sells those things, but the level issue is they're available and they look very efficient. I stepped inside and the conductor was like indoors.
So it's not just pickleball there though too, it's a basketball court, so they have to keep in, and I'm sure the basketball would benefit from that too, to have it covered and.
Well, it wouldn't be that large. The structures wouldn't cover a basketball court, a half court perhaps, but.
Oh, all right,
But the idea is that these were dedicated pickleball courts.
I see. So this is not a dedicated.
Yeah, you would have to up and down it all the time
Right.
to.
Yeah.
So.
No, but if we could fashion a portion of money or volunteer contributions and build one small isolated pickleball court in the same area, on the same property, and dedicate it 12 months a year.
You should go to the rec committee meeting.
When is that?
It's usually the first Monday.
First Monday?
But that's something that they would want to, they could move on that. I can't move on that,
Understood.
but they could move on something like that.
Well, I'll see if I can come
Or
up with
at
some
the very
photographs.
least, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
All right.
You'd be a very popular man if you got indoor pickleball here in Newbury.
Absolutely.
Well, I took my grandkids to Reading High School to a tournament and sat on the hill and watched it. These were young people playing the game at a very tall level.
Everybody's playing. It's not
Everybody,
just
yeah,
a-
it's
It's not just a senior
Generation
sport,
wide,
everybody's
yeah.
playing.
I turned to my son and said, the person who figures out how to create a silent paddle will be a trillionaire.
yes, that's true.
Are they that noisy?
Then he wouldn't have
They're
the
not
dink.
that
Then he wouldn't have the dink.
Right.
It's about the dink.
Yeah.
Well, the next item on the agenda is the update of the Friends of the Newbury Council on Aging. And Cindy, before I start giving this report, I'm a little confused about Jeanette's title. Is she the interim president?
So because they had the president and treasurer/secretary retire
Yeah,
or leave the board, Jeanette had been the vice president.
president, right,
So for now, she is the interim president
right.
until
okay.
they elect their new officers at the next meeting.
Meeting,
Yep.
right. I thought that's exactly what it was, but
Yep.
before I read this, I
Sure.
didn't want to make an error on that. So the Friends of the Council on Aging in Newbury held their meeting on May 15th at 9 a.m. The interim treasurer, Jim, and his last name is Carrigan, and our interim president, her name is Jeanette Isabella. They have met with the banks, because I have to take care of all the paperwork to change over the various bank accounts to the new offices of the Friends Board. So that was a time-consuming event. They also have an accountant who they have hired, and her name is Monica Griffin. And she is going to oversee the financial paperwork that is needed to stay current with the necessary filings. And she is also to keep them aware of the rules and regulations relevant to being a nonprofit, raising money for us, the Council on Aging. The treasury report was given next by Jim, and his name is Kerrigan, and I think I've already said that once. And Jim did a great job, and he next month is going to come up with some ideas of investing a portion of the savings account and additional suggestions to invest the excess money after the annual budget is determined. The fundraising committee report was given by Helen Kerrigan, and they have many ideas. They mentioned a boutique sale to be held at the Council on Aging with handmade items along with a bake sale. And they also mentioned an outside movie. And there's lots of details that have to be worked out for that. And Tina Kennedy was named the correspondence secretary for sending thank you notes and other needed replies. So under their new business was discussion of reviewing the bylaws and a grant writer. So they're really moving ahead on all of the things that are going to hopefully make them a success and provide our council with additional funds. The next meeting is June 12th at 9 a.m. So that's the review of that meeting. And moving on to our agenda, new business. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to discuss? No? Quiet?
Well, that was easy.
Okay. Establish the next meeting date as it's written down here, June 17th, 2024.
So moved.
And thank you.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So this meeting has ended. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all for attending.